Maria Shriver has been on the front lines in the fight. She founded the Cleveland Clinic's Women's Alzheimer's Movement, and she has written a new memoir called I Am Maria. She is a very busy lady, but she has found time to join us today, and we are grateful. Hi, Maria. Thank you for your time.
Hi, Pamela. How are you? Thank you.
It's so great to see you. It really is. We've been trying to get you on the show, and I'm so glad we're having you on about this, Alzheimer's, because you know, we have this new advancement I just talked about, obviously a big deal with this blood test, and you're there in Vegas to celebrate the progress made in women's brain health. My mom was a caregiver to my grandmother who battled Alzheimer's, so of course this cause is so important to me. Tell us about this event today, why it is so important, and how people across the country can join in.
Well, thank you for having me. And you're right, this event today is really important because it honors researchers who are on the front lines of trying to figure out why women are 2/3 of those who get Alzheimer's. It's also really important because we're celebrating 5 years of the Women's Alzheimer's Prevention Center. And you talked about this new approval for the blood test. And the word prevention and Alzheimer's never used to go together. So the Women's Alzheimer's Prevention Center was really a pioneering movement, a pioneering center to say, yes, there are things that each and every one of us can do. Some of these cases are preventable. You do have power. And I think the blood test obviously gives more power to individuals, but how we live our daily lives also gives us tremendous power. And how we exercise, how we sleep, what we eat, how we conduct ourselves. Do we prioritize our own brain health? That's what the Prevention Center has been studying and looking at, and all the people who go through it are part of the research, are part of science. But the Women's Alzheimer's Movement has really been at the forefront of saying we're going to look at women's brain health. We're going to look at women's health spans, and we're going to go where people haven't gone before, and we're going to stay at it at this time when research is under duress.
Right. There's obviously a lot of uncertainty around funding from the National Institutes of Health now that some Alzheimer's studies are in limbo. How is that going to impact the ongoing fight against Alzheimer's?
Well, I think we have to stay at it. That's why the Women's Alzheimer's Movement, I think, is so important. As I said, we've been pioneers in this space, and we're going to continue to fund research. We fund seed grants. Today celebrates our 50th grant. We know that Alzheimer's disproportionately impacts women, so we're going to stay at funding research into women's brain health. We're going to look for clues. Is it at perimenopause? Is it at menopause? What is going on in women's brains that people haven't discovered as of yet? So we're staying the course. I think it's a larger federal issue, and I think it's incredibly important. It's a bipartisan issue. Alzheimer's research has always been bipartisan, and it must continue to stay so. Women's health research is largely and grossly underfunded, and we as a nation need to focus on funding it, bringing it up to parity. We need to look at what is going on in women's health journeys, that we can find cures so that women can make informed decisions about their brain health, but about their overall health at every juncture. So that this issue is incredibly important to me, and I think it's incredibly important to every woman at every age.
As it should be, and there's a lot more to learn about the woman's brain and why we're more susceptible to Alzheimer's. I mean, I'm certainly interested in that. Again, my grandmother had it, and so I'm so grateful for you to holding this event with the leading researchers on this, talking about all these important issues. And you know, Maria, you mentioned that you think this is a larger federal issue. I know under the Biden administration you were really actively involved. Right now, NIH is under, as you know, the Department of Health and Human Services, and according to a preliminary budget blueprint from the White House, it will see cuts. I know this is obviously a little sensitive since your cousin is RFK Jr., who is running HHS, but what is your message to the agency? What needs to be done on the federal level?
Well, I think my message is that the funding at NIH is critical to our nation. It's critical to researchers and scientists. And obviously, I'm not the only person stressing that message. I'm staying very calm. I'm staying very focused. What we're doing here today is shining a light on researchers who are doing that kind of work. We're also shining a light on other researchers who we funded in the past and showing what they've been able to do and how important their research has been in this path to finding more answers. And I'm just going to stay focused. I've been focused on it all along, and I'll continue to be focused. I'll continue to fight for this issue. And I know that there are so many people of both political parties who share the same sentiment.